Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome everybody to Dan Rock's Rock Box. I actually thought I was going to be a couple of minutes late coming on because we've got our two house rabbits, Lex and Dot, free at the moment. Hubby is here. He's keeping an eye on things, and yeah, they've been in separate hutches for since June, since we got Dot, and now Lex has recovered from his op. We're just integrating them together so they can live together. And he was just cleaning her. He was cleaning his ears, and it was a heart melt moment. But anyway, for tonight, the Sacral Chakra, Hips Don't Lie, is the name of my workshop for this one. So once we've done the base and we've learnt those 6 crystals, then we will come on board. Evening, Sarah. Hey, Carolyn, and hey, Shardy. Yes, it was so cute, Shardy. It was really like, oh, and now they're just both just like head to head, just like looking at each other. We couldn't have asked for a better scenario, because to interact two rabbits can be really quite difficult. So yeah, they have done an amazing job the whole of this week. So yeah, we've been busy with that, and hopefully it won't be long until they're in the same hutch together and can be best of friends. Yes. So how's everybody up to? I can't believe it's been a week since I've talked about the base. Last week has flown by. It's getting darker. We're getting later for our lives, which is a good thing. And it means we can eat before the lives rather than eating after the lives, because we never know when I'm going to shut up for us to finish the lives to eat. So it's good when that happens. So yeah, so once you've done your base chakra, all about the base, and you've learned about those 6 crystals, then we run the day of Hips Don't Lie, where we will then look at 6 crystals that work with the sacral chakra. In this one, because in the base we learn the pendulum, in this one we learn about aura scanning, which is another handy tool to use to check on the chakras as well. I normally aura scan the chakras first, get that sense, that feeling of what are they doing, and then I'll go in with the pendulum just to reaffirm what it is I feel is happening with that chakra. And then we do the practical layouts in the afternoon. So we all go into a grid of each of the crystals that I'm going to mention in a moment. And then we set about doing the chakra layout. So then we go back to the base, see what the base is doing with the aura scan and pendulum, and put the appropriate base crystals on the chakra. And then we aura scan, pendulum dowse on the sacral chakra to see what that's doing. And then we put those crystals on the sacral chakra that we feel is in need of. So yeah, so the sacral chakra for me is one of the it's one of the most vulnerable chakras. It's our emotional cupboard. But if we think to where it is on the body, it's just it's about 2 fingers down from the belly button is where your sacral chakra is, and it's pretty exposed. We've got the base chakra, and that's kind of protected, being in the pelvic bone. Then we've got the solar plexus up from the sacral, and that's kind of got the rib cage, the lower bit of the rib cage there. Obviously the heart is protected by the sternum. The throat is just at the top of the rib cage, and then obviously the third eye and the crown has got the skull. So the poor sacral, it's out there. It's not got any sort of barrier, which is quite interesting. We tend to see this when we are meeting people for the first time, or if we're in a group and we're not feeling the vibe, we tend to block our sacral. We tend to stop that feeling. We tend to put our hands around where that is and protect that. So we automatically go into a defense mode and protect this chakra because it is our feeling chakra. The mantra is I feel. So anything along those lines, those affirmations of I feel, we can send them down to the sacral and see how we feel with that. Hey Lex. And yeah, it's so not only is it our emotional cupboard, it is our creative center. It's the place where we connect with our inner child. Whether you are male or female, we all have a cosmic womb. We connect in that cosmic womb to connect with that inner child, to bring in the joy, the fun, the laughter, the innocence of being a child, and really delve into that energy and relish in that energy, especially if it's something where it's been a long time since we've laughed, if it's been a long time since we've played, since we've done anything fun. If what we're doing is very mundane and very regimented, then we need to break that barrier. We need to break that cycle and bring in the fun. So we've got crystals there that we can look at with that. Yeah, and if we look, last week we said with the base, and with the base symbol, we have the square in the symbol there to represent the stability, the strength, and we've got the color there, which is quite a nice strength coloring. The sacral is orange, which quite is nice to invoke the creative cycle within us. Draw in the orange color if we need the creative parts for us. And then in the symbol, we do have the moon in there. We have the crescent moon, and we know that this chakra is represented by the moon. It's governed by the moon. So on full moons, new moons, any cycle of the moon is it governs the tides, the waters on this planet and with us. And water is an emotion. So we do know that dealing with the sacral can be an emotional time for us. A lot of people work just on the heart if we're dealing with emotions, which can be fine. But if you feel that, oh God, I've been working on my heart for so long, I've brought in the pinks, I've brought in the greens, I've done what I need to do, but I still feel something, then there may be something that's going on down in the sacral. You may have took that emotion further, deeper down. So if we're working on an emotional level, always make sure you work with the sacral, not just the heart, because it could be deep-seated trauma. Again, just like the base, where we're looking at the womb to 7 years. From the sacral, we're looking at 8 to 14 years. So anything that's going on there, and obviously putting that into our years, what we are doing from the age of 8 to 14, our bodies are going through a lot. There is a lot of change going on. There's a lot of hormones. There's a lot of chemicals going around. We're changing. We're growing. So for that, it's we need to look into that. How was that for us? Was it challenging? So anything there we could take into account when we're working with the sacral chakra, that anything that's deep-seated can come up, even though it's been 20, 30, 40 years time. It can still be there. But obviously we don't just hold it to those years, we can hold it to any time of our lives where we've took that emotion in there. Normally it's about shock and trauma. When we see something that has shocked us, when we've witnessed something that's been traumatizing, we normally take that gasp of air when we see something, when we see an accident, and it's that that in breath we take right down into our stomach. So that is where that first seed of that trauma has started. So it doesn't matter then what we visualize, what we witness there and then, and what goes on afterwards. We could do all the work we can, but we need to clear that seed as well. We need to clear that first impact, that first sign of that trauma, which was that in breath, that shock response of seeing, witnessing, or being involved in what that was. So the crystals that we're going to be looking at, we're going to start off with an in-betweener. So carnelian, beautiful, deep, dark orange, to a very pale orange. It can be very reddy brown. So this is why I'm saying it's a nice in-betweener, because some people take carnelian as a base, and that is absolutely fine. If you feel that it's a base chakra, if it resonates with you there, then use it there. But for me, I love it at the sacral chakra, because of the mantra of I feel. This really gives us that strength, that courage of feeling, and really allowing us to act on how we feel. If we feel we need to make a change, we've got the strength and the courage from this stone to bring in that change, to make those alterations, and not just be like, well, okay, I've got myself into this, I'm just going to have to stay in it. No, we could bring that in. We just need the courage, we need the strength, confidence as well, which is what this stone is good for. So carnelian is a really nice stone for the sacral chakra. Yeah, although I said about the chakra being governed by the moon, this is very much the sun energy. So it's a nice little balancer there, bringing in both the sun and the moon into one center. It's quite nice to bring that in. Both balances out that. So if we do need that, good for creativity as well. And again, that's down to the strength, the courage, the confidence. It really is such a confident stone. So if we feel like we want to get creative, but you know, we're perhaps in our head with it, and we're perhaps thinking, oh, you know, no, that's a bit of a stupid idea, we can't really do that. Can I do that? No, I'm too old. No, don't want to do that. This will allow it to stop going into your head and bring it down into your sacral, connecting with your creative center and allowing you to blossom, allowing you to shine and to develop in whatever it is you want to do. And creativeness, you know, the list is endless what you can do creative wise. It doesn't have to be full on of like writing a trilogy of books. It could just be as simple as going out and altering your garden, altering a room, you know, just bringing in that creative side. So carnelian is there in the sacral chakra. And then obviously we spoke about these, so we need to have these guys in the mix, and it's the moonstones. And yes, I pluralize that because I do bring the three types of moonstone to the workshop, so we get to pick one of them. We don't all connect with the 3 moonstones, because then that would mean we'd have 8 crystals to connect through, and that would take up a chunk of the day. So peach moonstone is obviously one of the most well known. So we bring on this one. Green moonstone. And then the beautiful black moonstone. And for those people, for the green moonstone, this stone is very much about fresh starts, new chapters, new beginnings. Nice one to start with a new moon, even though we very much represent black with new moon. This is a nice one to bring in that fresh start energy. So if we've done a lot of work clearing our emotional cupboard, if we've really worked on our emotions, released the load, bringing in the green, again, we've got that positive energy, but we've got that nice spring nurturing energy. So it's just going to help nurture you and helping you just to get your mojo back, get that cycle back. Because when we're working on an emotional level, when we're working on that deep level on the sacral chakra, we might not be ourselves through that stage. We might not be who we are. We might find ourselves keeping ourselves to ourselves, staying in, reclusing. We just want to just work on us and just become within us, which is absolutely fine. You know, we don't have to be a social butterfly. We can just go into that cocoon and just work on ourselves. So afterwards, green moonstone would be really nice to bring in that fresh spring vibe back into us. You know, we're just slowly budding back. It's like, okay, I'm back in the real world. I'm back out there. And green moonstone is just going to keep us that freshness. Okay, we can tie this in with the triple god or goddess. So if we're working on the triple goddess, we've got the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And this would be the element for the maidens. Or if you're working on the god energy, it will be the energy of the boy, because we've got boy, father, sage. So yeah, I find that this one is the gentlest out of the moonstones. It's so beautiful, so peaceful, so loving, calming. So it's really nice. And then the peach moonstone. So representing the mother or the father. So through all of that, through the pregnancy, conception, pregnancy, childbirth, child rearing, peach moonstone is going to be your nanny, your nurse. It's going to really be there, beneficial and helping you through all of that. So yeah, the sacral chakra tends to really be for any fertility problems with ladies. It can, by working on the sacral, can hopefully aid in bringing a solution to that. The base holds any fertility issues for the men, but conception, childbirth, going through the pregnancy, the cycles, peach moonstone is a great one to have there, and it's completely safe. There are quite a few crystals that you perhaps wouldn't want to have around you for especially through pregnancy. Smoky quartz is one of those that you shouldn't really have around the first trimester or the third trimester, because of it releasing that energy and bringing things down in a gravity kind of way. Smoky quartz can bring on an early labor. So it's not one that we should carry around during pregnancy. But peach moonstone, we are relatively safe carrying this around through the 3 trimesters of pregnancy. And again, any problems, you know, getting used to those sleepless nights, getting used to a stressful baby, an upset baby, by using peach moonstone just calms our emotions, and not just calming us, but sending that calming vibe off to the little one as well. So we're having a nice little harmonious energy going on around there. So that is for the mother's peach moonstone. And then we have the black moonstone, which is good for the sage or the crone. So the latter parts of our years, autumn, winter, in the human lifespan, is where black moonstone comes into. And it shouldn't really be light working with peach moonstone. We shouldn't take it with a pinch of salt, because it can be very intense. It can be very universal energy. Black moonstone can really take us up to the sky bounds. So, which is quite nice when we are the crone, when we are the sage, just to let us know what we've done on this planet, but what could be ready to come about in the next one, in our next life forms. But again, menopausals, anything to do with the what comes about at that age, we can use black moonstone to connect with that energy. I like it. I do like the black moonstone. It is quite universal. So we're just having cat wars in the corner here, and it's really putting me off. I've got two cats and they're squabbling, and so I hope that made sense with the moonstones, because I really lost my concentration there. And then we come to sunstone. And obviously here, and no doubt people have heard me talk about sunstone being a good one for SAD, the seasonal affective disorder, helping us to find the positives, helping us to really not get into our own mind, not getting into the negatives or being a pessimist, trying to see things on a brighter side. And sunstone is brilliant for that. So yes, Lily, it is. It's very much like so yeah, it can help alongside carnelian to bring in that creative energy. So if we find that carnelian is a little bit too, is not our jibe, then try sunstone. Or again, if sunstone's not for us, then try carnelian. They are quite there next to each other. So if one doesn't take your fancy, the other one hopefully will do. So yeah, nice. Again, a good one for the sacral to work on there. You've got the heating on, haven't you? Mm-hmm. I think Hub is going through the reverse menopausal stage. Is getting so cold, yet me, I'm getting so hot. So yeah, so sunstone just taking us down there. Again, if we're working on our emotions, if we're working on that energy and we're shifting that, keeping the sunstone with us is going to keep us up. It's going to really help our mind, our frame of mind, our mindset to be positive. So we're not digging a hole and putting ourselves in that hole. We're keeping our head in the sun and keeping ourselves chipper, keeping ourselves nice and cheerful. as can be while we're going through what it is we're releasing. And then we have one of my faves, which is the beautiful serpentine. And I put serpentine here for that emotional healing, snake energy. And snake energy is very, very healing, very good for any emotional work. We work with a kundalini around the base sacral area, where the energy coils around like a coiling snake and then releases it up into ascension, helping us to ascend, helping us to fully awaken. So the snake energy, serpentine, goes into the sacral chakra. I always relate to it with the alchemist Hermes, who had the staff with the entwined snake on it, which we see now on medical professions. They took that symbol as their emblem. So it's just there to say that snake energy is good there. So I like that. And again, we've got that green energy, that positive, nice little ooze of energy that we can work with on the sacral chakra. So we don't have to be orange. I like to bend the rules there and bring in different kind of colors, but not too far out. I like to make sure that they do actually work and coincide with the sacral chakra. And then we have the fossilized orange segment, which is orange calcite. Literally, it is like sunshine in a stone. When this is out on the table on the sacral workshop, everybody smiles at it, everybody holds it, and it just makes you smile. It's such a beautiful, bright burst. Okay, and down in our sacral, the organs that we govern there is our digestive system. It is our stomach. So this, for me, is that vitamin C, and vitamin C is so good for your immune system, really good for supporting that. So orange calcite can really benefit with protecting and bringing in a little bit more of a bite to your immune system. So if you're feeling you've got in a little bit down, if you feel you're coming down with something, work with orange calcite, connect with the energy and allow it to boost your immune system. And for me, there is so much similarities. When I used to do one-on-one healings, nearly everybody's sacral was blocked. There was always an underactive action in our sacral chakra, and that's because as humans we are rubbish at emptying our emotional cupboard. We're crap at talking about emotions or dealing with it. We would rather deal with someone else's problems in the hope that by dealing and helping with them, we're going to be helping ours as well. Or let's just go and do something else and it'll fizzle out, it will go away. No, it doesn't. It stays there. And over the last few years, I mean, I've just come away from 25 years of hospitality, and what I was cooking in the late 90s is nothing like what I was cooking 2 years ago. It was, you know, the menus, you know, the lactose, the dairy frees, the glutens, the celiacs, all these allergies that were coming out and it was, you know, either allergies or intolerances. And for me, and when I started my spiritual path and working with crystals and realizing the connection with the sacral chakra, the emotional cupboard, and the fact that the sacral chakra governs our digestive organs, it made me feel that, okay, there might be something here. There might be an interlink here, that if we have intolerances, if we find that we can't digest some foods or we have digestive issues, are we dealing with our emotional crap? Or is it just storing up there and blocking? Because if your emotional cupboard is full, then your digestive system is not going to be working at its fullest. It's not going to be doing anything in the right order. So that's always got me thinking with those lines, because, you know, what was on the menu 25 years ago is not, is completely different, so yeah, I just think that there's a lot of people out there who are carrying baggage, and when they empty that, when they deal with that and see that, then hopefully they might see that there would be a change in their diet, there'll be a change in the way that their digestive system works, because it can't be working with a full cupboard of crap, basically. So orange calcite is definitely for that. And again, linking in, I mean, we've got two different types of the sun. Actually, we've perhaps got three different types of sun. We've got the sun that's bringing us the strength, the confidence, the courage. We've got the sun energy as though we've actually been in that sun. So when we're feeling, you know, the rosy cheeks and just feel that upliftment and just thinking, oh, you know what, I feel like I'm ready to go on. I want to do that. I want to go off and do things. You know, it's recharged our batteries. And then we've got the orange calcite, which brings in that fun. You know, have fun in the sun, really connecting us to our inner child, helping us to do that and bringing the fun into our lives. So a brilliant positive stone. I love it. It is just so gorgeous. Quite edible. Very much quite edible. And then that leads us to our last one, which isn't a stone. Obviously, it is a resin, a tree resin, and we've got amber that comes here. And the last two, orange calcite and amber, they are really just started to bridge that gap between the sacral and the solar, because the solar plexus will work with yellow stones and the sacral is the orange. So we're getting a bit lighter energy there because we're just starting to bridge in between, because we're not just working on the chakras, we've got to think about the in-between spaces as well. We need to make sure that they are there. So where we've got the base, we've got the carnelian that fits in between the base and the sacral, and then we're just going to be leaving the sacral on a lighter note, ready for the solar plexus. So there is method into the way they're laid out and the way we connect, because we start off with the heaviest and we work out to the lightest, because we're working up. The base, the sacral, and the solar plexus are our three physical sacral, our three physical chakras, and then the heart is the center, and then the throat, third eye, and crown is our spiritual chakras. No, honey calcite, yeah, honey calcite you can take to the sacral chakra. Absolutely. What are you doing? We've got an imposter. Honestly, you can't write it sometimes. So yeah, honey calcite will be there, and you could take it to both. And especially honey calcite didn't make my solar plexus or the sacral because I've got orange calcite here. I might bring honey calcite to next Monday's our circle, to the following Monday after that, and have a talk, because yeah, honey calcite is a little bit of a bleeder for giving us false energy, like sugar, you know, where we take sugar and we think that the sugar is giving us energy, but it's not. It's just giving us that fake energy, and then we just have this massive come down. Whereas orange calcite, it's that vitamin C energy, so it's that vitalizing, refreshing energy. And we think, you know, if you think when you just drank a glass of orange juice and you just think, oh, I feel refreshed, revitalized, energized, I'm really charged. Honey calcite I would use with short bursts. I wouldn't hold it for so long, especially not a week, because you find that you are just running on empty, and that is just giving you energy, and it needs to be your energy. It can't be anything else's energy, because yeah, if it's anyone else's energy, then it's a bit fake, if that makes sense. So yeah, I might bring that in just to show and explain it a little bit more. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, other crystals you can use is orange kyanite. If anyone's got orange kyanite, that's a real nice one. Aragonite is a great one for the sacral chakra. But yeah, amber I bring in here for its warming purposes, and there's a particular animal that I connect with amber, and that is our hedgehog. And again, amber is a great protective stone. And I was saying when I was talking about the green moonstone, how sometimes when we're working with our emotional levels, we just want to go inwards. Amber is a nice one to work with, where we just want to protect ourselves. Yeah, if we've been hurt, if we've been betrayed, if our trust has been broken, we need our time. We need to just reflect on things. We need to process things, and we just need time to think, okay, so who do I want in my group, and who do I just don't want to see again? So just curl yourself up into that ball and put your spikes out. Amber, just put those spikes out, and just, you know, so everyone knows that, okay, let's not go near that person, because they're not very comfortable, they're very prickly. So yeah, and it works on a nice slow energy. So anything that we need to process, it's going to be done slowly. We're not going to be making any rash decisions like we perhaps would be if we were using honey calcite. We would find we've got that fastness, you know, with okay, I'm on sugar, woo, 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 woo. You'll be making erratic choices, you'll be going overload. Whereas amber slows that down. We were talking about amber, was it this morning on our morning connections? I was talking about amber, or was it another day I was talking about amber? Was it the workshop yesterday? Might be at the gridding workshop, where if you can remember the old Locket, the throat lozenge adverts, and they would break that lozenge in half, and you'd get that slow release of the honey inside. And that to me is the flow of amber, is that slowness, but definitely protection. So anything around that. And again, if we've got anything in our digestive system, if we've got anything going on around the organs that the sacral governs, we can work with amber there just to help to try and slowly release and to slowly sort out any complications that are going on alongside that. I mean, obviously, all of this is complementary therapy, complementary as in it complements what else you are doing. So if you're taking medication, if you're seeking counseling, if you're on a professional route, then these can complement those. They should never replace anything from a professional side of things. So yes, so I like working with amber on this chakra. It's one of the finest. So that is the crystals for the sacral chakra, with a fluttering visitor from Lex. If there is any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer them. We've got 15 minutes before I go off, because these are only quick bursts. A little bit about the chakra, a little bit about the crystals. I'm on full on a Wednesday doing the market, and tomorrow night we are on to do the new moon, which is on the 16th, 8:30 on the 16th. The moon goes into new moon. So tomorrow night we will be coming together to do our communal altars, to work on those, which I love doing. I love those evenings where we all come together and create these amazing energies. So that is tomorrow night. And obviously it's the new moon. So think about the new chapter, the new cycle. What do we want to work on? What do we want to take steps to achieving, or take steps to removing from us? Remembering that we reach the full moon, which is the fullest of the moon, the energies at the potency, so we can really bring that out, and then look at something supportive that works going into it, into the new moon again, to the complete cycle. Addy, are there in-between stones that could be used all the way up the chakras to really cement the connections between them? Would that be helpful or not? Yeah, absolutely. And that's the way that I like to look at. So we've discussed the base. So the bridge between the base and the sacral would be carnelian. The bridge between the sacral and solar plexus would be orange calcite or amber. I know some people will be a bit like, oh, but amber's not a real crystal. So either one of those. And then the bridge between the solar plexus and the heart would be peridot. And then if we're working with the higher heart, if we're working with the thymus, then we can use a pink and green stone as a bridge between them. So a rubian fuchsite, rubian zoisite, or watermelon tourmaline can bridge between the green heart and the pink heart. Larimar is a nice bridge between the higher heart and the throat chakra. If we're not working with the higher heart and we're just working with the green and the throat, then amazonite would be a nice crystal to bridge between the heart and the throat. And then we have blue lace agate, which is a nice bridge between the throat and the third eye. And then amethyst is a nice one to bridge between the third eye and the crown chakra. Okay. So yeah, and they do help, because so many people just put crystals on the centers, but we need to think about the in-betweens. Even though everything has energy and that energy ripples out, but there's no reason why we can't think of, okay, just in between there, I want to place something. Well, there is options there that we can place. So absolutely we can do that. Yes. So what else have we got coming up this week? Tomorrow is the new moon. I'm going to be talking about the Halloween full moon tomorrow night, because with that one we are going to be doing a little water ceremony. We're going to be bringing in water, and we're going to be doing some healing with the water. So in fact, I might mention it from now up until Halloween. With the water, it would be helpful if we are near, or if we go to a water source, so a river, a free flowing, so either a river, a stream, brook, the sea, so we can gather that water. Try not to go for ponds. We don't want it still, we want it to flow, because the idea is that why we're doing the grids, because on Halloween it's the full moon. But it's the second full moon in October, so it's a blue moon, and it's going to be on Halloween, Samhain, one of the pagan festivals, the new year of the pagan calendar. So we're going to be doing some water on there, and we're going to be sending healing to that water on the grids that we're going to be making. And then the idea is that we then return that water back to its source, and those healing intentions we put into that water flows. And obviously wherever we are, we have this nice gathering and mixing of our intentions, healing, and sending it across around the world. So we'll be doing that on Halloween, on the actual Saturday night. And the full moon goes, the moon goes into full at 2:30 that day. So we're well into the full moon energy. We don't have to wait for it to be full. It will already be full when we come on board to do that. So that will be quite nice to do, to really honor a special occurrence like a blue moon on Halloween. So we'll be doing that. Then tomorrow night, the replay that Joe Duckfield, Coming Out of the Dark, the interview she did with me, or the interview I did with her, is being replayed tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on UK Serenity Radio. You can download the app or listen via the website. And Wednesday is our market day. Thursday, we don't do nothing Thursdays because that's my show on UK Serenity Radio, Crystal Faunacopia. And this week I'm talking about the damselfly, the messages we might get from damselfly, and connecting that to the energy of peridot. And then Friday is our lovely quiz community vibe. And then Saturday is our special guest at 7 o'clock, who I can confirm is going to be Susie Grace, the beautiful Rainbow Susie. She's going to be coming on Saturday to chat with us about her spiritualness and her passion, sharing what she loves doing best. And then Saturday morning, well, afternoon, we've got our crystal toolbox workshop. So yes, we've got lots of things to keep us busy this week. But yes, might be flying around on my broomstick. Yes, absolutely. I'm going to love it. It'd be nice because we always come on board a few days beforehand to do the new moon grids or the full moon grids, just in case there's people out there who are new and want a little bit of guidance, want a little bit of advice or a bit of inspiration on what they can recreate at home. And so it'll be just nice to do that on the actual night. So we're live, we're gridding together, we're holding a little ceremony for the water that we've got. I'm not going to teach you guys how to suck eggs. Please be safe if you're going to go and gather water. I don't want you dangling buckets on rope over cliff edges or anything like that, or holding someone's legs over a bridge while they're scooping up water. Just take a container, fill that up with water, and if we've got a glass, I have a glass vessel which I use for healing waters. So if it can be in a glass container, whether it's a bowl, whether it's a wine glass, anything like that, then that would be a lot more beneficial than plastic. Okay. Would you have any more recommendations for SAD? A combo of crystals on sacral or grid or something? Yeah, good, nice one actually, Lily, because with the sacral chakra, I do get the participants that come to our workshop to do a 3 and a 1. Thank you. Yes, a 3 and a 1. So we pick 3 of one kind of stone and 1 of another. So for your combination, I would perhaps go for orange calcite. So I would have 3 orange calcites. I'd have 2, and then I'd have 1 at there, which is leaving a space in the middle for the sunstone. Okay, if that makes sense. I don't know if we can pretend that this is orange calcite and so is this one. Okay, so we've got our sacral chakra 2 fingers away from the belly button. So we've got the belly button here, we've got 2 fingers, that's about where the sacral chakra is. So we want to place 2 pieces of orange calcite below. Where the 2 fingers is where we want to put the sunstone, because that's the central bit. And then we'll have a place of the orange calcite on top. And the idea is with the 2 at the bottom, that represents the cup. It represents the crescent moon that is depicted on the diagram of the sacral chakra. But we can't have the crescent moon going that way on the sacral because we're not going to be balanced. So we flip it over and we have that crescent moon going that way. So we're nicely balanced. It's creating that cup or that room, that place there. So we've got the 2 crystals, got the 1 at the top, and then we've got the 1 in the middle. Yeah, the cradle for that. So yeah, definitely that. You can also bring rhodonite from the base up into the sacral. And rhodonite is a very nice supportive, a very nice comforting crystal. So if you've got something like orange calcite or sunstone for SAD, and you just want to support yourself, you just want to support that, then I would do the 3 of rhodonite with a piece of sunstone or orange calcite in the middle. Okay, I hope that helps. I'm no good at fingers, and I've got a pen, but I don't have no paper to draw on. But yeah, thank you. I'm glad, Lily. So yeah, so there is, and you know, experiment. You could bring in the moonstones. So if you find that sunstone, as though it's good for sad, if you think, oh gosh, that's a little bit intense, combine it with moonstone. Bring the gentle, soothing energies, and just allow that to surround the sunstone. So it's just giving you a nice, gentler energy than the full-on sunstone. But just experiment. Oh dear, Shardy. Yes, yes. I let that one go, didn't I? Or should I say I tried to let that one go, but with you on board, I can't say much without it being picked up by you. So yes. So yeah, but anything else, give us a message, and I'll try and draw it, and if you're struggling with that. But yeah, it's a beautiful combination. It's a real nice one. So yeah, so next Monday I won't be here to talk about the solar plexus, walking on sunshine. That's going to be the Monday after, because next Monday is our first circle, talking about protection, talking about spiritual protection. There is an event for it on ROX. Please, I do have to emphasize that this is kind of an energy building evening. So there is a little bit of admission price to pay for, just because we only want people on there who are on there for the right reasons. We want people to be on there because they want to work in a group, they want to work on development, they want to work in a team environment. So it's going to be 7 o'clock till 8:30. But please do check out the event page, and please read what I've written down there, because there is some procedures. I don't want to say rules, but there are procedures that we need to follow. It opens at 7 o'clock. I will open the Zoom doors at 6:45. And then we'll start introducing people at 7 o'clock. At 7:10, I'm going to start doing the meditation to open our chakras. So anybody who is coming in after 7:10, even if you've paid, and you should have paid, else I won't be letting you in. I won't be letting you in. We've already started, and the energy is already building. So please, I'm doing good by giving people near enough half an hour window to come on board with it. And then once we've opened the chakras, then we'll go into the discussion of spiritual protection. What does it mean to us? What do we use to spiritually protect? Obviously, I'll be coming on board and taking a look at the crystal side of things. But there are people on there who are working in energies. So it'd be nice to get some tips and advice from those guys of, if you don't use crystals, what do you use to protect yourself? And it's not a right or wrong night. You know, don't turn around and think, or if I say I sage myself, are they going to tell me off? You know, it's not wrong or right. It's what works for you is the main key. And yeah, be an hour and a half. And at the end, so we'll have that discussion until 15 minutes before the end, because then I'll walk you through a meditation to meet a spirit animal who will help you with protection, who will come to you if you need protection. and we should be finishing at 8:30 is where I want to finish by. So there's no one coming in late, and I don't want people leaving early, because literally even on Zoom, if someone drops out, the energy changes, and it's important we keep that energy going and that energy flowing. So yeah, so that'll be next Monday that we're doing that. All the details are on Dan ROX events page. Circle of ROX it's called, and it's just something for us to, you know, take these lives a little bit further. I've been doing these since the 21st of March, and I like the Zoom concept because I get to see all you guys, and you guys get to see get to speak, rather than doing all this comment stuff. You could just unmute and speak. Okay, so yeah, and also it will be very much we're muted, and if somebody speaks, they come to unmute to speak, because my pet hate is people talking over each other. I can't deal with that. So it will be that on the Zooms, on the circles, it will be very much we're all muted, and if someone's got something to say, you know, it sounds like a classroom, it sounds childish, but there will be the raise of hand, and we'll then unmute that person for that person to speak, and take it in turns, so on and so on. So just so people get to speak, and we respect that person's opinions, and we respect what they have to say. Very important. I don't want anybody wanting to speak and then someone jumping over them. It's very, very disrespectful. So by controlling it that way, Zoom is quite good actually for that, for controlling that. So yeah, so they're the details. Go off and discover that, and by reading them, and obviously I've put the admission price to come onto the Zoom at the bottom, in the hope that everybody's read that and then read the price. And by paying the admission to come on, you are agreeing to what is written there. Okay, so yeah, I don't want anyone to be like, oh, I didn't know we weren't allowed to do that, or oh, I didn't know that, because it's all there. What we're expecting to do is all there. So please familiar yourselves with that. Even if you're coming, just familiarize yourselves with that. Yeah, because it's not, you know, it's not stiff upper lip. It's not. It is serious. Because when you do work in a circle, when the energies are right, when we connect, amazing things can happen, amazing things can be achieved and manifest. So it's really important that we really go in with that intent. You know, don't go in there with the intent of your shopping list. Don't go in intent thinking you need to make your appointment with your hairdresser. Don't go in there with the intent that you've just watched the news. This is why we're opening the chakras as a meditation to begin with, is for us to leave all of that out there. And when we've opened that meditation and we're doing that meditation, we are in the circle, we are connected, and we are there just to discuss that topic and what is on board there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, I'm going to let you kids go off and enjoy the rest of your evening. And I will see you here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock is our new time, because the nights are drawing in, and it gives us a chance to have something to eat before I come on board. So yeah, 7 o'clock tomorrow for the communal new moon gridding extravaganza. See you all soon. Thank you very much for coming. Bye.